All right, here's our next video. We're going to talk about head injuries and concussions. Again, this is something we're much more likely going to see with our youth and our young kids just because of how they play and different activities like youth camp and preteen camp. Basic head injuries, so somebody bumps their head, they get hit in the head, they fall and hit their head, anything like that. If we see a bump on their head, that's a hematoma. That's just blood gathering between the skull and the skin. We could throw some ice on it, and then we're going to keep monitoring for a concussion, which I'm going to talk about later. If we see a dent in the head, we're going to call 911 immediately. Don't move them, leave them where they're at. Don't allow them to move their head. So if you're asking them questions like what happened, does your head hurt, do you feel nauseous, anything like that, don't let them nod or shake their head. Tell them to answer yes or no. I'm going to put out another video on how we're going to take C-spine precautions. That'll be later. But we're going to monitor them closely, just like we would any head injury. So concussions and monitoring. We need to, if after they get hit in the head, we need to monitor their behavior for the next 3 to 5 hours. If they exhibit any abnormal behaviors, we're going to be taking them to go get a picture done. We need to verify whether or not it's a concussion. If they have a hematoma, which is, a contusion, which is blood pooling underneath possibly the skull, or anything of that nature. So examples of abnormal behaviors would be dizziness that doesn't go away, slurring speech, especially with kids if they're abnormally lethargic. Anytime kids are lethargic, something's wrong. Sudden vomiting out of nowhere. Usually it's very sudden and sometimes projectile. If they have a piercing or crushing headache that doesn't seem to go away. Usually if they say my head hurts, they'll come up to you later on and say my head still hurts. Ask them what it feels like or to describe it. If it feels like somebody's stabbing them in the head or if somebody's crushing their head with a vice. Those are just a couple of examples. Really, if you see anything abnormal, that needs to get looked at. So again, we're going to take them to an ER or an urgent care. They're going to get a CT scan, and we need to verify for certain whether or not they have a concussion. There's not a lot they're going to do for a concussion, but concussion is best case scenario compared to the others. If there's something more dangerous like a hematoma or a contusion, those are things that will need to get treated there in the ER. That's all I got for head injuries. Again, if you have questions, call, comment on the video, or shoot me an email. Thanks.